Welcome back, everyone, to our live coverage of the North American LCS. Rip here now with Kobe24, and we're about to get things started once again. It's time for MRN versus Vulcun. Vulcun really turned their game around yesterday, and now after a win today, it could be MRN's turn.
Yeah, I mean, Vulcun are coming in with so much momentum today. 2 wins yesterday, and they look so good. They had also, not only did they win, but they had the highest total gold averages when they did. And that goes to show they weren't just getting kills. They were also getting all these global objectives. They got the Dragon, they got all the turrets, they got the Barons. It was just so well played for them.
Yeah.
MRN, they also, though, with their win earlier, controlled the objectives. They did the exact same thing. So it's going to be a really contested Dragon, I'm pretty sure, for the first one. Also, MegaZero wasn't forced into that 2 versus 1. So like their weak spot wasn't really exposed.
Yeah.
A lot of people have been saying if you switch to a 2 versus 1 with MegaZero, he's great 1 versus 1. But 2 versus 1.
And you know, Kobe, we've been saying all day it's a matches of first, but these guys haven't met in competitive play ever, inside or outside of the LCS.
Yeah, I mean, they haven't even played tournament games against each other, so it's going to be interesting.
Really cool. That's why these two teams have been doing their homework. Let's take a look.
I really like all the players on Vulcun. I think they're all really strong. Mandatory Cloud's the mid player. He's really great.
You killed this shit.
I still think they're like pretty behind all the top teams, but they just have plenty of time to practice and they can easily catch up without people noticing it.
I don't think they're a threat, but I wouldn't underestimate any team. And then the person I look out for on this team is Heartbeat, because he's AD like me.
From what we've watched, I think they make a lot of initiation, like they hesitate a lot, and then something goes wrong and then they panic.
If we do our research, I think we'll play really well against them.
All right, so let's check out the lineups on the blue side. It's Team MRN. MegaZero at the top, ClakeyD in the jungle, Echo in mid, Heartbeat on AD, and Atomic on support.
On the red side, we have Vulcun. Psycho Sid up top, Smithy in the jungle, Mandatory Cloud middle, Zuna on AD, and Muffin QT supporting him.
This is going to be a great matchup. We heard Zuna just say, no, I'm watching Heartbeat because he's an AD carry. And really, Heartbeat has been playing well. They gave him the Taric. He played a lot better, they played a lot better on that. We saw him in the qualifiers playing Caitlyn, and that's really when we realized he's better as somewhat of a defensive AD carry than he is being the aggressor, the all-out DPS.
I remember back when MRN made this iteration of his team, it was like, all you need to know is that MegaZero and Heartbeat carry us. So those are definitely 2 of the ones to watch. And they both are coming in with wins after starting out with losses.
Right.
So both teams are really amped up.
Yeah. For sure. And I got to say, if Vulcun hasn't taken into consideration that MegaZero came up here and said, I hate 2v1s, that's going to be really amazing to see because they need to swap that out if he doesn't like it that
I mean,
much.
yeah, usually, like if I was MRN, I'd be like, why are you telling people? But everybody already knew that. Everyone was like...
Yeah, in the point, yep.
I mean, the only reason GGU didn't do it against them is because they were using Fat, who's a sub, and Fat has not had a lot of
2v1 isn't,
experience there either. Yeah, I mean, he hasn't played in any competitive play, so that's where most of the 2 versus 1 comes. In solo queue, not a lot of people do that 2 versus 1 switch. You don't really want to test your solo queue partners. You're like, play whatever's most comfortable for you.
Yeah, it's how many times you go into a ranked game and you're just hoping for the right team, and then somebody's like, we should swap, and you're like, whoa, no, we already have a good team. Let's not go crazy.
Yeah, unless you get like Zenkin or something with that 2 versus 1 Janna, then you're like, oh yeah, this is gonna work.
We'll have to see if he is feeling comfortable in it. He did say he's practicing it, trying to find compositions that he doesn't like the most in that spot, and it's going to help. We've seen Voyboy in a few scrims kind of go into careless mode again, and we'll see him get a few of those bad habits back. So it's up for anybody to make those mistakes or really get the practice there, because we saw in the beginning in the season, every team said the practice is there. It's up to you to want it.
Yeah, I mean, maybe it's an elaborate troll, and he's like been practicing nothing but 2 versus 1 all day, every day for the whole week, and he's got a great 2 versus 1 plan, and he's like, yes, that's my weakness.
Yep. And another thing to look at coming into this match is Smithy bringing his tent to town yesterday. Will he bring the tent to town this time? He was camping top lane when the AD and support were in top lane. He was camping the bottom lane in the next game when they were in the bottom lane. So he is following them, the carrot dangled out in front.
Yeah, I mean, it really is up to him if he decides that Heartbeat is that big of a threat as Doublelift is for CLG.
That's true. We'll have to see if that happens. Into Champion Select, and we are going to get underway here. The picks and bans now to come out. MRN versus Vulcun in your 3rd matchup of the day. Singed finds himself on the bench with Twisted Fate right off the bat.
I am very interested to see if Marn go back to their Urgot Taric lane that they used to qualify, because that was really the main reason that they qualified. They just beasted everyone with that combo, and we just saw it used. So maybe they're like, oh, we should go back to that. If it ain't broke, use it again.
Jarvan's banned out there. Kale's banned out as well. There was an Ahri used sometimes in that Taric Urgot composition, so we'll see if they decide to use that. And we're looking for one more ban to come out from these guys as they have 20 seconds to do so. And really the Kale ban coming in just because nobody wants to deal with the intervention.
Yeah, I mean, they let, it was Dignitas, I think, get it against them. Marn did, and they paid for it dearly. They don't want to let that happen again.
Yep.
Kale's so strong right now. She has percentage armor shred with her passive. And with the rework, with the percentages go before flat penetration, that's just, it's so strong right now. Her ultimate literally will save your life. You could block all the damage. You're going vulnerable.
So Kale and Shinzao, the last two bans within this game, so the aggressive jungler being taken out there. But the other and favorite of Kobe, Vi coming in.
It's so predictable now. I mean, a lot of these North American teams, the champion pools of some of these teams are a bit lower, but I feel like everyone's concentrated on that mentality of taking the comfort picks. And since everyone believes these few champions are the comfort picks of all the other teams, that's why we all play the same stuff. Like, people have been saying, you know, North Americans, they're all cookie cutter. They always all play the same thing.
Well, there's something out there right now. I remember somebody talking about it earlier, where the top played champions and the percentage of the wins being picked are being, you know, aggregated out amongst the teams. So we're seeing who's picking those champions with the win rates, and a lot of those teams that are in the top tier are using those champions.
Yeah, I mean, Vi is definitely one of those. Yep. She's so mobile, and her ultimate will let you get to anyone, including Ezreal. I mean, Ezreal's #1 slippery AD, but Vi will definitely be able to get over to you.
So they actually go and ban out. I think this is the first time we've seen Jarvan and Shinzao both banned out. The jungler's getting a lot of focus in this game, both ClakeyD and
the old Bash brothers, not surprised there. But Alistar has also been a hugely fought over pick.
Yeah.
Since Patoy, everyone was like, why does Patoy have the highest KDA? Oh, he's playing Alistar all the time? We better steal that. So now everyone's, oh, well, we better prioritize Alistar again. Muffin QT said, I was originally a very aggressive support. Alistar was one of my mains. So once I saw Patoy using it, I was like, yeah, I can still use him. Picked it right back up, and it worked nicely.
Yeah, he said he liked it. We see Xmithy does get to run Hecarim once again. He is in super comfort zone coming into this match. And they really have a lot of safety with this team as well. Muffin Cutie, like you said, picking up the Alistar. Just safe play from Elise as well. That's what you get from that kit.
Yeah, so last time he was Hecarim, he did camp that lane super hard.
So hard.
It was basically a try lane, we were saying. I mean, every time his smite was up, he'd go use a smite, he'd come right back.
And he was faking out Chouster most of the time, too.
Yeah. But again, a Renekton. He just feels like Renekton is so strong of a champion. Like he said in the interview, you can go beast mode with Renekton. He's so strong early. Like, nobody can really move him. And it's a comfort pick. There it is. The Taric Urgot. I'm pretty sure he's going to lock that in because it worked so well for them in the qualifiers.
Syndra would be interesting. I wouldn't be surprised to see the Ahri here as well. Something they did play last time. Echo was on Twisted Fate last game, but they do lock in the Syndra. And it looks like Echo has been taking a few pages out of Link's book.
Yeah, and that's pretty good idea. Like, Link was doing a very good job on his Syndra. CLG had some rough games, but his Syndra was very strong. And he showed the strong points of the champion by stealing an early blue buff, taking it over the wall. I mean, they didn't always come out with the W, but at least you were able to take the blue buff.
Still show off some of those skills and give us a good game for it. We are looking for an AP mid over on the side of Vulcun right now. That's up to Muffin Cutie. You can see him discussing with his team on the screen right now. Looks like he did type something in there, and Lux is going to be locked in.
So I just talked about how Syndra steals blue buffs like no other. Lux is a very blue buff dependent mid.
Yeah.
You really put such a higher priority on blue buff when you have Lux, because end game, when you want to push, if Lux has blue, you can't push against that. She's going to have the max cooldown laser. Plus, you want to be able to throw out as many of those skill shots to catch someone and just hope that you can get one of those Suche two-person one combo.
Super explosion.
That was... Everybody wants to make a YouTube like that.
You try every time, or you do, and you just don't have the recorder on. That's when it happens.
I've done it plenty of times. It was never
it wasn't recorded.
Exactly.
I really like what's coming in here from Marn. They've taken into consideration and kind of said, yeah, Smithy, tag Hecker him. We'll have Tarek to guard that bottom lane, because if he runs in, no matter what speed he has, it's just going to be like on point dazzle.
Yeah.
You can get out.
Urgot and Tarek are just, they're beasts 2 versus 2. They're also beasts 2 versus 1. There's not a bad place to put them.
Yep.
So they're going to be a strong lane anywhere. And Renekton is kind of the same way. He's really strong, and you can put him anywhere. So they don't really feel like they're forced into anything here. It's a very flexible lineup, and it doesn't really matter if they do a 2 versus 1 switch over here.
And I feel like there's really a lot of consideration going in for both of these teams. Even though it's the first time they're matching up, we see Mega Zero stacking a bunch of health. Why not put him against the least % damage on that health? So you're going to be able to somewhat negate that, and he's going to have a hard time in lane if they don't get the swap in.
Yeah, I thought that was one of the most interesting things about way back week 1, the TSM versus CLG matchup, because CLG went with a full tanky lineup. They brought a whole bunch of health, and TSM actually tried to counter it with all that percentage damage. They had Elise, they had Kale with the Leandries. They actually bought 2 Leandries, and they lost the game trying to counter the health stacking with all those percentage damages. And I was like, wow, maybe there is there's nothing you can do. But it was such a close game. I'm sure it was a skill matchup. So.
All right, everyone, if you are just joining us on the stream, we are now into Game 3 here. Riv and Kobe bringing you all the action as we watch Marn take on Vulcun for the first time.
Nice ward over there by Smithy. Doesn't even want to go into that bush, using the wall to get the extra distance.
Looks like we have Mega Zero going for that regular buy on the elixir, the ward, and a few potions for himself. Everybody just kind of going for regular buys all around. However, we do have Heartbeat. I think he did this last time as well to start into that brutalizer quicker, if he can say it. It's hard for me. But to get that and then continue his lane.
He's actually not going to need a lot of sustain, because it looks like it's going to be a 2 versus 1 switch over here. They're going to send the Alistar Ezreal combo against Mega Zero. They were listening to that interview. They're like, okay, if you're just gonna lay it out there, we'll take you up on it, and we're gonna 2 versus 1 Mega Zero, see how he fares.
Super asked for it.
Wow, he's going back and forth. He definitely don't want to face check any bushes when the opposing team has an Alistar.
Are they gonna try to stomp him?
Smithy is up top. He's in the lane right now.
Oh, they're just going for the late invade / who can they find. But I think they're going to see him in there, and they're gonna back up.
Yeah, Vi probably going to start those raids. She's not going to have time to go over to Wolves, so this is going to be a red start for Vi. We're going to have the top and mid laner trying to take the Wolves, and this late invade looks like it's successful so far. They haven't run over any wards yet.
There are no wards to run over there completely with the Fog of War. Mega Zero's just going to go up towards the blue, but he's going to run. Oh, he sees him. They get all antsy in the pants, and they don't get the kill, but they're probably going to be able to take away the blue.
Yeah, they'll be able to steal that. They have a ward for vision, but Mega Zero is not going to be able to steal something. If he gets too close, Alistar is very dangerous. They can definitely catch him. So that blue buff is just forfeit right now. Elise on the other side also forced to run away from hers, and ClakeyD grabs it.
ClakeyD steals that away, so I think Vulcun made it a point to go ahead and get that blue buff. Yes, they did. A great job right there by both. And I thought something was going to happen really for just Marn there, but they went in, grabbed the blue, and made it out.
All right, so both of the junglers actually starting at their blue buffs. Just happened they were on the wrong side of the map. Everybody's even still. Mega Zero, not too bad in this 2 versus 1 so far.
Yeah.
He's learned. You just have to stay back at the beginning, let the lane push towards, because there's nothing Renekton can do to get any of those CS. All he's going to do is take free damage right now if he gets out there.
Well, you said the blue buff was going to be a spot of contention for these teams, and right off in the first second, Kobe, they have stolen each other's. Marn in this 2v1 lane now in the bottom. That's going to be versus Psycho Sid's Elise. Psycho Sid actually fares quite well in a 2v1 lane, but we haven't seen too many impact plays coming from him. Let's see if he can just stay consistent in this game for Vulcun. This mid lane Echo versus mandatory
I really
Cloud.
like what Smithy's doing here. They know that there's no ward over there because they went for the blue invade and they weren't spotted out during the blue invade. So he's like, okay, they didn't have that warded now. I'm pretty sure that Mega Zero did not waste his ward over there. And Vi coming in for the counter gank, this could be blood.
A great read by ClakeyD here, and it's going to be Smithy kind of wasting his speed there. They won't have too much if they want to go in. No, there's got to be this aggression up top is so telegraphing what's going on.
Well, I mean, that the ward by the blue buff that they had told them Vi was coming in, so they didn't do the very risky 3-on-1 dive. That ward pretty much just saved them right there.
So Smithy's still waiting on the wing here. It looks like he wants to go fully around or get a nice binding. Actually, Echo knows this. He's being very cautious, and he throws the ward out. Well, we're going to see if it's still a persistent gank coming in from Smithy. He looks hungry.
Yeah, they haven't seen Smithy leave, so
4
they still
minutes.
knew.
Wow.
There we go. They got vision. He's been pinged out, and they were able to take that very quick turret because the Urgot Taric, like I said, it's so dangerous. Even in a 2 versus 1, you can grab kills.
4-minute turret going down in favor of Marn, and they continue to push that lane as hard as possible. They know that Smithy isn't in a position to do a super gank right now. It's too early in the game, so this pressure is fantastic from Marn.
Yeah, and another thing with Vi going over there to clear that, she staved off 2 waves that had built up, and Mega Zero still has his red pot, so he's going to be fine. He's not in too much danger right now. Good stun.
Oh, there's a Q from Vi coming in. Mandatory Cloud. Can the Ignite go on? The shield's not enough. First blood for Echo on Syndra. Smithy trying to come in. He equalizes with 1-for-1. Echo shouldn't go down here. He does have the red buff, so he's going to be able to aggress him out of the lane quite hard.
All right, good job by Echo. Also, not burning his flash right there.
Yeah.
There was no panic. He was like, okay, I'm red buff slowed, but there's no burst that's going to come out from Hecarim this early. Hecarim's damage, very predictable at level 4.
Looks like they are just getting forced in the mid lane there. Smithy gains a little bit of ground now with the jungler off the map, and it looks like this may collapse into a top gank as well, Kobe.
He's coming up again for this, but look at Vi. ClakeyD is on point with this. He senses the danger. He's coming up to help clear another wave. He's just going to be a little bit too late.
This is going to be big. Mega Zero taking a lot of damage. The Ignites are on. He may go down here. He slices the dices away. Oh, he gets a last hit from Zuna's auto attack, and Vi is just not quick enough. ClakeyD on the edge there.
Barely too late there. He had the right idea, though. It looks like they are going to do the switch because they want to protect this turret. So they take the advantage, and now all they have to do is blanket that blue side again, the enemy's jungle with wards, and the dragon should be free picking for them.
We look around the map, it's been a lot of kills coming in and not a lot of CSing. 6 minutes in the game, and it's only 15 to 18 for those swapped 2v1 lanes, those 1v1ers. Mega Zero and Psycho Sid quite low in the CS. How does that work out for them with a factor of mid-game? Does Elise need CS more than Renekton? Are they going to be all right without that much CS?
Both of them actually do pretty well without too much gold. Elise just needs a little bit of magic penetration, and then she can just build tanky. Renekton, he doesn't even have to build damage. He just builds straight tanky, and he becomes that beast that he was talking about mid and late game.
You see him still going for a brutalizer.
Not so much late game, but yeah.
Still being a beef wall late
He's a
game.
beefcake.
Heartbeat and Atomic doing the same thing now. The medicine to the top lane as they push in this turret, already trying to get damage on it as well. Even in the 2v2 lane. Zuna holding it off. The 80 carries 51 to 45, still pretty even there. The mids 49 to 43 in CS. Aggression as Smithy comes around from the backside. Heartbeat is not the focus here, so he's able to just throw out damage, but they see Smithy, a great flash on that. He still gets a hit aside a little bit. It looks like, again, they can just patiently, not patiently, but carefully walk out of this.
The power of an Urgot Taric lane right there. Get ganked, they don't even care. And I was going to say, that's something I really dislike when I'm in solo queue, is if you're top lane and you're a really strong top lane, you ward your tri-bush only, and your mid laner doesn't ward the exit into the river by his side, so someone can sneak up the river like Smithy just did and is doing once again. But it doesn't matter because the Urgot Taric lane's so beefy.
And it looks like he's going to get a little help with this as they leave the lane. Bottom still being pushed now in a 1v1. You see Mega Zero and Psycho Sid matched up. Now the blue stolen away, and it looks like they will return back to the top lane here. Smithy more than happy to grab that up, and they're trying to deny Syndra more than they're really denying Lux's, which we said there's something they need to do.
Yeah, it's always great to have both of the blue buffs when you have that sort of comp. And Heartbeat and Atomic are fine just farming up there. It looks like Mega Zero going for some harass on Sid.
He does have good damage. It looks like he threw on the red elixir as well, and you can see him just putting out the DPS as Smithy comes down here. Try to stop some of that. We'll see this most likely donated over to Lux, but with that push from Syndra in mid, Echo doing a good job of keeping him.
Yep, Smithy just going to soften up this blue buff, give that one to Lux, and she is going to have a great amount of killing power, even against Syndra. If you can land a combo against Syndra, she actually has pretty low base health and stuff. You can look right there. That would be 100% if he's able to combo it nicely.
And with a stolen away blue buff, he's definitely going to be able to push that out. Echo knows he is hurt and low on mana, so he's going to go back. We'll see what he comes back into lane with. He went for the Chalice
Both of
early,
them.
but they both have gone for the Chalice early. Yeah.
They both are aware of the other champion's ability to 100% them.
Yeah.
Syndra, once she hits 6, that ultimate, the
Yeah.
highest single target burst damage if you have enough of her orbs out. So each of them could 100% the other. They're both going the safe route, getting magic resist, but it looks like the needlessly large rod for
quick
Syndra
burst
is going to give her a bit more of an edge.
The Athenes looking to be finished, coming in for Mandatory Cloud as Mega Zero returning with his team to the top lane, being seen by the Vision Ward there. And you can see just by the cautious play, they may be able to read this one out. Smithy just on the backside waiting for that counter gank.
The Manamune already finished by Urgot. He doesn't even have the boots. And we saw before, he doesn't need to run away. They got ganked, and they were just fine with it. So it's a fine skip, especially with all the champions getting that 25% more base move speed. It's not that big of a deal.
So at this point coming in with the purchases for Zuna and Heartbeat, where's the damage in favor?
Zuna and Heartbeat, I mean, definitely right now, Urgot's got the advantage because he did finish his, his Muramana. But Zuna's feeling just fine. He's got the sustain. He started out with that Doran's blade, and he also has a Vamp Scepter. So he's fine in lane. He can just steal back up, and they're not too afraid right now. He also has the cleanse just about to come back up.
Oh, it could look like a dive here, but no, Mega Zero just chooses to show pressure. So he's going to head back down towards the bottom lane. ClakeyD taking a good amount of aggression there. The repel is still there. The execute, a good shield from the abilities coming out. Keeps him there. The auto attack to come in. No, PsychoSid doesn't have it. Is he still on his way down? Heartbeat, or rather Mega Zero, just out of range of this one.
Very good dunk by ClakeyD right there, making use of the CC as well as the passive shield that she gets. That's 10% of her max life that she gets as a shield when she lands an ability. Great job, and that's the only thing that saved him right there.
Yeah, that was big. That last percent damage Q was about to be it for him. Very well played, and it just seems like in these engagements, although very chaotic, these players are handling them so well.
Yeah, I mean, even though that was a 66 CS jungler going up against a 55 CS solo laner, the level advantage does way more than that small amount of CS. So it wasn't a big difference right there, and you could see Elise with the penetration. There we go, fight top.
There is a burst going out into Heartbeat. True Shot Barrage actually didn't do hardly anything. He still has quite a bit of health left, and that Ignite did a bit more than the True Shot Barrage did.
Yeah,
or so it seems.
Or so it would seem. Again, that Urgot Taric lane, they're just fine up top. Throw everything you have at them. They don't really care.
Wards going down all over. They're starting to actually bring out multiple pink wards. PsychoSid, good harass. There's that Q damage onto Mega Zero, and it looks like he can't take it anymore, even with that engagement coming in from his ultimate. The
mid lanes are so even right now. We talked about them both starting with the magic resist, and they're just trying to power farm right now. 108 to 108.
Athene's Holy Grail finished up.
There we go.
But the Pen Boots finished on the other side, so they're kind of matching each other in the damage they're going to get. That burst on the front end of Syndra, though, it's going to be pretty scary right now as she did grab that early Needless. 2 Brutalizers coming in for Vi and Renekton. Just looking to shred this team apart as soon as possible.
So Renekton can just go back to this bottom lane since they have good ward coverage in the enemy jungle, and Mega Zero can keep on pressuring and keep shoving.
17,000 gold to 15,000, about 2K gold lead. Actually, it's even at that 2K gold lead. 2-1 in favor of Vulcun right now as they were able to find a few of those kills. It's 1 for Xmithie and 1 for Zuna. Exactly what was happening yesterday for Vulcun and what carried them to their wins, getting Xmithie and Zuna fed.
Another thing to note due to the result of these 2 versus 1 lanes is that both supports skipped the regen. They just went with the side stones. They didn't get either the flask or they didn't get either for the Philosopher's Stone.
Another Brutalizer coming out. So there's 3 Brutalizers. The cooldown all over the place for Marn.
This blue buff, there we go. The contention is still here. Everybody knows it. Look at those 3 wards. Both teams really want this one.
Looks like it's going to be thrown just into safety for them. Can they get the pop off with the laser? It goes down too fast, and it looks like they're forced to back off. So you called it from the beginning, Kobe. These blue buffs are like dragons for these guys right now. Everybody's just got to focus on them.
Yeah, that was a good steal right there, though. I mean, they don't have a blue buff Syndra, so that is a big help. And even though it was on Smithy's got that one with the smite, it's going to be a big difference because Lux will be able to protect her own right now. Again, both teams moving over there, though.
Here we go. One more dance as they posture into the Dragon Zone. Looking to be able to take him out, and Martin puts themselves in the dead.
Bold move, very bold
Wow, they are really thinking they got themselves ahead here. Smithy dives in. There's the swap. The Dragon goes to ClakeyD and an instant drop on Smithy. It looks like Martin knew exactly what they were doing. If they can continue to drop Vulcun, Psycho Sid can knock at the rest of his team there as he repels himself in. Beautiful double flash out. The chase coming in. Mandatory Cloud lives, but Zuna are shifted over the wall. Sorry, he actually did use his flash. Muffin Cutie dies, and Zuna left to run around as Mandatory Cloud already hightailed it out of here.
Oh my goodness, they do get it, and Zuna gets the Arcane Shift over the wall. Mega Zero takes one more shot, but he's going to be fine. A very ballsy Dragon right there, but they knew they had their flashes, and they used both of them to get over the wall, surviving.
Zuna recently getting enough mana to throw that ultimate out. Unfortunate it couldn't have happened 15 seconds ago.
Yeah, so a good way to increase their gold lead. Pretty even on the kills, but they grabbed the Dragon, so very nice pick up there. And the blue buff still up for Vulcun right now.
So Marn getting themselves out of that fight pretty cleanly. A double flash to get out, so the next engagement may be for a while for them. Mega Zero's flash and Ignite are down. His ultimate still on the tick. 15 minutes in, Marn grabs, I believe, the first Dragon that we saw in the game there. And they look to grab also a 4,000 gold lead with that.
Yeah, I think that was the second one, but we're going to grab the invisible blue buff. Good job, Sid. He can still hit it. Sure that he can still see it.
As they take that out, ClakeyD trying to just push out this mid lane. Not push it out, but clean it up. His red buff still ticking away. And the lanes to be cleaned, the camps to be cleaned as we check out the inventories. A Giant's Belt as finally Mega Zero can get the health he so much wants on that Renekton.
Yeah, and it's going to be a return to top lane here for both the AD carry and the jungler. I mean, we're going to have that tri-lane. Even though they just had a big fight, they still have not lost focus on their game plan. They want to have Smithy camp those AD lanes. He's done it every single time that they won yesterday, and he's just going to keep on doing it.
So nothing too crazy coming out here. We actually see a no boots buy for Taric at all. Like you said, they don't need to do much in that lane, but just walk out safely. But it's going to start being a good amount of burst damage that they can't handle, so we'll see if that affects them as they push this top turret. It looks like it's a grab here for Vulcun. They are going to be able to get enough damage here as they drop their first turret, evening those at 1-1. We'll have to see where the lanes go. Assault, the Breaker down onto Mandatory Cloud, Assault and Battery, and they just completely wipe him. There's the burst that you were talking about from Syndra.
If you can't get away from that, I mean, there's nothing that he could do. The burst from Syndra is ridiculous, and Vi is unescapable. So tough break there for Mandatory Cloud. That coveted blue buff is actually gone.
Yeah, finally Echo getting what he wanted all game. And they are going to push this turret. They lost one up top. Can they repel that? Not repel that, but get it back and even things out here. Get that gold. See, they got enough damage, about 10%, but here's could be the Cocoon coming in. Sid, no, goes into Spider form. They just go for defense, back into that very cautious play for both teams.
Yeah, tough breaker. I mean, it would be so nice if you had a Lux with a blue buff right now. You could clear all these waves and defend the mid turret, but they don't have to steal the blue buff. They just have to kill the Lux after, take it off his body, and now they're going to get the mid turret.
There it is. More gold going in favor. It's still a 4,000 gold lead, so everybody's keeping whatever farm or objectives they need up as we saw the top turret go down. Now this mid one, it's 2-1 in turrets, and the map vision, like we said, they aren't excelling off of these advantages. A very slow, not even roll, but slow movement towards everything. Not as much blue buff focus really coming out. Already onto Link.
And we see Psycho Sid went with the 2 early flat magic penetration that have been so telling with that Spider. But Mega Zero only had to buy 1 item. He got a Brutalizer, and he's going straight tank after that. Going with a Giant's Belt, stacking on also the Ruby Crystal. Probably will turn that into an endgame Warmogs, but he's also got a little bit of magic resistance to help him out. The Null Magic Mantle going to take a lot of the bite off of those 2 penetration items that Elise got.
So Syndra almost doubling the AP of Mandatory Cloud right now. That is going to be some big burst damage coming on 4-0-1. Echo playing very well coming into these games. Didn't make too much of an impact on Twisted Fate.
There it is, pings on the blue buff.
Did do enough to help. Yep, the blue buff once again. Now that it's up, it becomes that objective. And it looks like they're all going for it. Vulcun wants it so bad. We are going to see no contest here. They're on the outside. They'll be able to throw in a few abilities, but too little too late.
Yeah, they just weren't in position right there. They actually do feel good fighting right now because both people on Marn just finished really big items. We had the Black Cleaver finish for Urgot and the Death Cap for Syndra. So her ultimate is definitely going to be able to one-shot whoever Vi is able to handle.
Just looking around, seeing what kind of movement we're getting out of these teams. There's absolutely zero aggression. Everybody feels comfortable where they are, placing down some wards. Great wards by Vulcun, we should say. They just kind of curve all the way into the blue buff on the top side of that map with vision. You see Psycho Sid getting engaged on, but a great Cocoon just, again, backs that off in a 2v1.
Yeah, we almost have the fully stacked Bloodthirster here for Zuna. Just 6 more damage on that, and then he'll be at full power as well. And they don't want to force the fight, though, because they are behind here from Marn. The next dragon that does come up in a few minutes is going to really be the next point of contention. And look at the ward coverage from Marn. They're so ready for it. They've got pink wards. They've got a nice perimeter of green wards to back that up, too.
At Mega Zero, ClakeyD really making another Bash Brothers composition between Renekton and Vi. They're putting on the Merc Treads, they're putting on the health, and they just want to get into these fights and wreak as much havoc as possible. Setting up for Dragon in 1 second as it pops up. We're going to see if they try to contest this one. It's just like the blue buff.
Yeah, I meant a few seconds, not a few minutes.
And there it is, Xmithy getting swapped out. You're going to see him taking quite a bit of damage here. The focus is kind of all over that. It's a good final spark. It hits a few. Shut down onto Syndra. And it's going to see this Vulcun coming up big on this fight as they just are able to push out Marn from the Dragon attempt. Can they keep going on this? A good slow there onto Muffin Cutie. That's the real initiation. It's going to be a Cocoon for Heartbeat. No, they do get the headbutt pulverized. It's going to be one down. Zuna in the background shouting it out. He says, continue to go. Can he have enough? No, he does not have enough mana, but here comes Mandatory Cloud. He does have the blue buff. It's only about getting in range for them now, and it's going to be a quick hightail out of there. It's going to be the repel in, the execute onto Atomic, and the chase was worth it for them.
Yeah, Vulcun were so ready for it this time. They weren't going to get tricked again, and Psycho Sid making great use of that repel, both offensively and defensively. That gives you 2 seconds of untargetability, and they were able to come out with some easy kills, and it's going to be a free dragon.
Xmithy almost runs away from the shield that would save his life, but the dragon wasn't in range to attack. Luckily enough for him, they back happily with that dragon. Second one in a row for them. 29,000 to 27,000, and they've closed the 4,000 gold gap to 2 now.
I was going to say, like, it was such a great buy by Smithy. They had just finished that locket, but it's refreshed from his cooldown right now, too. Like, he didn't finish that Spirit of the Elder Lizard, which is one of the rushed items for Hecarim for a lot of people to get that pure damage. Let's take a look at that replay, because that was a really disjointed and nice fight for Vulcun. They really liked that. The missed binding from Lux to start off wasn't too bad, because look at the Cocoon from Elise. That was so big. And then the laser comes through. Dragon also hitting Echo, so Zuna just has to Arcane Shift in there, finish him off, and 3 people chasing Sid right here. Elise is so hard to chase down.
It's just quickly turned. You saw they knew they made a mistake as soon as they turned around to chase.
Yeah, and then a nice Alistar combo right there to clean up Heartbeat. Zuna's not done right here. He keeps on yelling. We could hear him throughout the studio, and they chase it down. Maybe that was one of those disheartening things that KX was talking about. Zuna's chasing you, and he's yelling in your ears. You can hear it. You know your death is coming. You kind of just resign.
That's exactly what happened. You saw like ClakeyD sit in the bush for a second too, and he was like, "Maybe I can help you for a second." No. Here comes Elise.
You guys are gone. So they're pushing for this outer turret, though. That wasn't enough to stop their aggression.
True Shot Barrage comes through. They do get a Cocoon onto Heartbeat. A great amount of initiation damage. Heartbeat could find himself going down here, and he does. Vulcun is absolutely smothering anybody from Marn that they could find. We almost couldn't even see ClakeyD there, and they're forced off of what they thought was their turret.
Maybe we should be getting Sid some blue buffs, because these Cocoons he's throwing out are just amazing, game-changing. They're even going to force an early Baron here. A couple wards coming over the side, though, so Marn is aware of this.
Oh man, we could hear Zuna. He's saying, go, go, go. We actually even heard it the last time he was screaming like that. They were on the dragon. They said, no, let's just take the dragon. But they're fully on board this time. The Baron could be theirs. It's slowly going down, though. Zuna in the background is saying, keep going. A great kill there coming in, getting caught out on the side. 36 seconds in the death chamber for Echo as this Baron continuously dropping, and Vulcun pulls himself back into the gold lead by 400, and they continue the pressure.
You can see how effective the kit for Hecarim is there. He only has level 3 Spirit of Dread, and he was still able to tank that Baron so easily.
see that pen build coming out for Elise, doing a great job. And like you said, Psycho Sid making plays. I said he wasn't doing it before. He must have heard me and he didn't like it, because you are right. The cocoons are setting up so much for them right now. And with that initiation speed coming in from Alistar and Xmithy to gap close, there's nothing you can do if you're caught.
Look at the map right now. How many wards are on top side? 0 of them are down by Dragon.
It's like a kaleidoscope.
The top side is just, there's wards everywhere.
They are definitely shining a spotlight down on this area. I think everybody can see. Some of those are like on top of each other. They just wanted more. Looks like they're going to try to steal this one away, and I do believe he got it. We're going to go over to Lux. Yeah, ManCloud Froggins away the blue buff.
Blue and purple right there. This is going to be extremely dangerous. A Lux combo. He has both Death Cap and the Athene's Unholy Grail plus the Baron buff. He's got a blue buff, so he's going to be able to throw out the combo as much as he wants. When he does land it, it's going to be really, really, really painful.
The shield is so huge, coming in for 300 on each swing almost, it seems. So that's a 600 damage shield you're going to be able to put on your entire team if they can get within the range of its spin. We'll see them pushing here. We hear some discussion from the teams. They're trying to get an initiation in, but a few misses there are going to cause them to back off.
That's okay. It'll be back up soon enough.
Yeah, right?
One more wave. 25 seconds left on the cooldown of that.
Wow, that is crazy. It's actually 24 right now altogether. That's absolutely ridiculous, and that's something that Marn has to be aware of. If you can get that passive proc from Lux, it does such a significant amount of burst damage with her ultimate. And the way that Marn is playing, they have that go into the middle team, so a lot of them could be hit by it, grabbing only a few minions there as they just move forward. Looks like that bottom lane is going to get an extra push.
So we've got ClakeyD just finishing the locket. That's going to be really big for them. At least they will have the shield, and 2 red pots coming out, one for him and one for Renekton.
Still some aggressive poke damage coming in.
There's the laser combo.
There is the proc coming in, the hit from Lucid Singularity, and he just blows up Heartbeat. Didn't even have a chance to tell his teammate what's happening. They get Mega Zero in the same exact spot. Deja Vu, and it looks like he's able to stay alive though. The repel out. Psycho Sid, like you said, so hard to kill, and Elise gets himself out with a sliver of health, and they can still continue the initiation. The Q damage onto Atomic, the volatile spider as well. Oh my gosh, they get him with the final spark. No, it's not actually going to get. He flashed on that. Syndra goes down to Alistar though, and they are able to finally pick up the inhibitor.
There we go. Mandatory Cloud pulling his weight with the skill shots as well. Zuna, he was inspired. I mean, Psycho City was inspired. You got 2 of them to get us in this position. I'll finish it off, no problem.
Looks like they are going to be trying to get this top turret as well, Kobe. So much action that Vulcan is pressuring onto this map.
Another cocoon. It doesn't matter, but I just want to point out, these things are landing left and right.
Again, the siege kill. They're just trying to push these lanes down. What items are they going to even buy next? They keep coming in here. They have now increased within a matter of minutes a 4,000 gold deficit to a lead in their favor by 3,000 gold.
Well, definitely we need to have some home guards coming out from Marn. Their perimeter has been breached. Vulcan are inside your base. You need to start guarding your home.
Danger Will Robinson.
There we go. We've got 1 for Syndra.
27 minutes in here, 11-5 is the score. Vulcan crushing down these turrets, and we said it before, don't really want to jinx it, but they could be the team to go 3-0 this week.
It's so interesting how the places on the map that they are not the focus point of Vulcan are clear of wards. Like, nobody's even putting anything over there, only exactly where they are at the time, and then they overward it like ridiculous. We see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of them over inside the base right now even.
Well, at this point, people are microing in or just seconding their wards during the fight. They cast a Q, they throw a ward. It's like a ward fight as well as an ability fight coming in.
Yeah, we even top lane, we have lane wards everywhere.
I don't think I've ever seen a ward that high in the lane this late in the game. It's just kind of, they are putting wards everywhere. You're right. There's another one right there next to the turret. They can even see it and take it out with the
bait.
Turret.
Okay, that is 100%
yeah, for sure bait, but they're like, take it, do it, Cocoon. Psycho Sid is right in that front line trying to throw it out. He gets another one on a Heartbeat. 1-0, and there it is. Psycho Sid picks up another kill. It's the same way they initiated last time. Even more Deja Vu, Kobe. Psycho Sid very low. Again getting out with a sliver of health. All the agains happening in their first time meetup for these teams. Mega Zero trying to be tanky for his team. That ult's about to wear off soon, and they're being caught in a sticky spot here. Way too much turret damage. Psycho Sid, his spider grabs aggro. You are so lucky. Zuna gets a kill. double kill coming in for Mandatory Cloud, and they do not want to let anybody get away. The ace coming in.
That could be almost all top 5 plays in one play, one single team fight. If you just followed Psycho Sid for the beginning of that, it was beautiful. Not only did he land that cocoon, he was tanking the turret until he got down to 30%. A beautiful repel gets him out of harm's way, changes the turret damage, and now we have RP coming in.
Position reverser. Do they have enough damage? He can't do anything for his team, and with the distance that he died before, they're not even up to help the damage he just put on. The Nexus is open. The Nexus turrets have fallen, and we are going to see Vulcun going 3-0 in Week 3 of the LCS.
Wow, such a great opening from Marn. They were ahead, but Vulcun do not want to give up their win streak. I called it yesterday. I said, any of these teams, every week we've had someone go 3-0. It could be Vulcun, and it is Vulcun.
Absolutely amazing. Nobody in their right mind thought this was going to happen. If you told me you did, I'm going to call you a liar, because these guys did everything behind the curtains to make this happen. They didn't come in and say, hey, we have a lot of stuff to do. We're really hyped up for this. They came in the same way they did every week, but we just saw a tenfold Vulcun playing at 200%.
That was not a win that was handed them.
No,
either.
not
they
at all.
Took
That was the hardest one of the
forcefully.
week.
And that was all on skill shots. That was literally skill that got them this game.
I feel bad for saying Psycho Sid didn't make plays earlier in the game, because, oh my God, those cocoons, I don't think I'll ever throw one like that in my life.
That was so. Just the last fight where he microed everything. He used every single ability that Syndra has, and she has so many, to just the perfect effect. Thank you for this replay. I'd definitely like to see it again. Just follow Sid with me. Oh my goodness, it's so good. And then we also have the lasers at the end. It's just so much to look forward to. Here we go. Sid goes in. The cocoon lands for the easy combo for Lux, and then the repel gets the tower to aggro off him. They have 2 great tanks. Smithy now taking his turn. The flash, Sid gets away from ClakeyD, even escaping the grasp of Vi, and now they're on the run. Smithy still doing an amazing job of tanking that turret. Spirit of the Dread is just so good. He gets a lot of life back. Rip, you did a great job, but now it's up to Ezreal. He's going to get this last kill as well. Oh no, it's going to be Lux laser, and there it is for the ace.
And just an amazing job. Like I said, Psycho Sid, he was lucky he was in spider form, because that spider grabbed turret aggro form. And
yeah,
kept him
the
alive.
little baby at the end, even that list tick, like everything went perfectly for him in that fight.
That was absolutely crazy. He wasted like 2 or 3 ults there. He took that first ult, and then Renekton Megazero popped his going in, which isn't burst damage on you, but that's still an ult that he had to just walk along, and nobody was taking damage from it, or it was being used defensively. And then he took Assault and Battery and didn't die, and then he got out. So he wasted 2 ults, deep dive on himself.
So many things to list in that fight. Like, we're just like spouting off every ability that anyone has.
Information dump.
They all used it so perfectly, and he saved his flash by using the repel first to get the tower aggro off and everything, and jumping to the back. Then he had the flash to get away from the Assault and Battery, and the combo with the Q from... Oh, yeah.
Breathe.
I was
we'll
like,
take a quick break.
It was a hard start to that team, to that game, and then the ending was just so beautiful. I'm really happy. That was congratulations to Vulcun.
For sure, that 3-0. Guys, coming up, we'll speak to Psycho Sid from the Red Hot Vulcun, and then it's our final match of the day, Good Game University versus ClakeyD. We'll be right back.